This is another edition of Petz's Final Verdict.
Hello, this is my final verdict, and today we are talking about Indivisible. It's made by Lab Zero Games, the developers who made Skullgirls, and was one of the first games I backed on Indiegogo.
Lawyer, perhaps it's time to change allegiances.
Just get out of our way.
Fair's fair, but don't think you've seen the last of me. Toodles!
Indivisible starts with a big fight between four people trying to take down some unknown enemy. When the battle is finished, it's then that your journey as Ajna takes place, set approximately 16 years after the opening battle. You start in a peaceful small village called Ashawat, where Ajna's father is training her to fight. This acts like a tutorial on fighting and blocking enemy attacks. After this you get to your first actual fight. Afterwards, the person you fight ends up joining your team, although it's not by choice for Ajna or your new companion. From here, you leave Ashawat and head out into the world to find and fight someone called Ravanavar. The gameplay is very much a Metroidvania with a wide array of platforming abilities and power-ups being gained throughout the game, which enable you to, in typical Metroidvania fashion, go back to already visited areas to find more things you've missed out on or explore previously inaccessible areas. The movement, controls and fluidity of this part of the game is solid. Everything is done to a very high standard and exploring the world is a joy. One thing that for me is an oddity with the game compared to other Metroidvania style games that I've played is the simple fact that you build a party. I'm used to these types of games where it's a solitary experience, where you're alone and the atmosphere is at a point which you think something bad is lurking around every corner. With this, a lot of the world is beautiful. It's lush greens and gorgeous colours all around. You do have more rundown areas, but there are people around, people to interact with. It's more akin to an adventure than lonesome exploration. What does make sense is why the game is like this. You're travelling around the world seeking to take down the evil that threatens it, but each kingdom has their own issues along with the big bad. As you travel the world you meet more people and quite a few join your team. I'm pretty sure I even finished the game without getting every ally. The reason you have a team is the combat is closer to a turn-based RPG in which you take control of up to 4 characters in a fight. The combat system is pretty interesting. You have 4 characters laid out in kind of diamond formation. You have one person on top, 2 in the middle with one at the front and the other at the back, and then the 4th person at the bottom. The characters correspond with your face buttons, so the top person is Y or triangle, and the bottom person is X or A. Unless you play on a Nintendo Switch pad, then you switch Y to X and A to B. Basically you start off with one attack, but as you progress through the game and collect objects that are called ringsels, you can increase the amount of attacks you do, but you can also use them to boost your defense as well.
Wow, we really did it! No more parts for you, Beast Lord!
I still think it was cute.
While in combat, your characters have various attacks which consist mainly of directional button presses, along with the corresponding character attack button. On top of that, you also get a bar called an ID meter, that when it reaches certain points can unleash much more powerful attacks. The good thing about this is when it gets full, if your team are really low on health, or all bar one person is knocked out, you can revive and heal everyone instead of using a really powerful attack. The bar gets longer as you progress through the game, so reviving and healing takes longer to be able to do, but as you progress you'll get more characters, some that heal. You'll also get better at blocking, and with a better blocking ability means you can earn health back on a perfect block. As I said, the combat is close to turn-based, but it's not quite. After you attack, your attacks fill back up, and you can attack again. Characters' attacks recharge at different speeds, but you can attack even if only one attack button is full. It's handy if you want to do small damage or stall the enemy attacks. But obviously then you can't do combos to increase the damage. The combat is really cool. It's a combat system that's different to the norm, and I really like it. It's very tactical, and you have to think on your feet quite often to get the best results from fights. The only issue I had was certain bosses were a big difficulty spike, though it's more that you need to work out a legitimate tactic to take someone down. Some block to a certain extent, so doing a particular combo with a particular person may be a way to break through the blocking and allow others to pound the target. Visually, this game is glorious. If you know Lab Zero games, you'll know that they make games that don't just look really good visually, but have fantastic animations, character designs, and world design. Everything is something great to look at. Even the drab Iron Kingdom you visit has unique aspects to it that make it a place you'd like to revisit. Can't really fault the game in this department. I like that it has a massive variety to its locations with a unique look to each place. The characters, as said, are all well designed. And with it being a game where you explore parts of the world, you meet people from many different races and cultures. The team itself is also made up from people of different races and have different backgrounds. They all come together to help Ajna and be helped by Ajna. With the many characters come many varied types of attacks. Some people heal and damage at the same time, others can attack head on or lay a trap for an approaching enemy. Some can fire off attacks, but the attack is delayed and it may even cause damage to your team if you use it without caution. There's a varied amount of enemies to take on, and with the different areas there's some pretty unique designs to them. Not only that, but enemies have various attacks too, which when you are attacked and you want those perfect blocks, you need to be aware of what type of attack they are doing, as you may need to be repeatedly tapping the block button, or you press it once, or you use a button that makes everyone block. Remember though, blocking uses ID. The more people blocking, the more ID is used. If you perfect your blocks, you gain a boost of ID. If you don't get that perfect block, you lose ID and health. Speaking of the characters, the voice acting is really good in the game. Like the in-game character, there's a wide variety of actors and actresses which are from various races. It's really good to listen to as the people line up well with their on-screen counterpart. And with the world adventure aspect, it makes complete sense that this would be the case. The audio is wonderful throughout, with musical themes fitting for each area. But not only that, the battle themes are also great. The music is really well made, and it makes a game that looks amazing feel more prominent in that you hear all this wonderful music while your eyes are taken in these lovely areas on artwork that has been beautifully hand-drawn. The music really helps to capture the game so that you take it all in and indulge in its wonders. After playing the game to the end, I have to say I really fell for it. I really enjoyed Ajna's journey. It started with Ajna's grief and anger at Ravanova and her first companion Dar. While the story progresses, you see Ajna get more set in her ways and Dar change for the better, and the people that accompany Ajna learn and discover things about themselves with you along for the ride. It's a well-told story of loss, but I also feel it tells the story of how anger and blind devotion, even if it's to right the wrongs of others, can be a dangerous precedent if done in the wrong way. I'm truly glad I backed this when I first saw it many years ago. It turned out to be a brilliant game with great gameplay, music and story, and I am happy to say that I'm rating this 9 Pugsleys out of 10.
A window! We can escape through there! I'm gonna smash it.
Wait, you fool!
Don't listen to Majna. Kill that window. Kill it.
I'm gonna.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Why not give Pedz a follow if you enjoyed it? And while you're at it, check out grk.co.uk and the GRK Collective on YouTube. Yeah.